motor show is a festival of speed. We've got James Bond's latest chariot, the BMW Z8 in Los Angeles. 2 long-distance lorry drivers swap their big rigs for 2 of the hottest hatches around. And have you ever wanted to race a Lotus Elise on a track? Keep watching, we show you how. Then we'll slow things down a little with 3 MPVs being put through their paces. Any self-respecting Bond girl needs to have a very special set of wheels, and you can't do better than 007's latest motor. This is the BMW Z8, a car that puts even those obligatory Bond babes to shame. The Z8 burst onto our screens in the latest Bond flick, The World Is Not Enough. It's packed with retro 50s styling, has a gorgeous interior and boasts the kind of curves that any self-respecting Bond girl would be proud of. The only problem is that getting a seat in the Z8 is the hottest ticket in town. Even here in Hollywood, where they have their fair share of glamorous motors, this car manages to turn quite a few heads. Oh yes, the Z8 is one car that feels very much at home in LA. That's because just like the locals, it hasn't quite grasped the words subtle, understated or quiet. The deep, throaty roar that comes from that terrific 4.9 litre V8 sounds absolutely wonderful. The only problem is though that it's so loud that it makes sneaky getaways an impossibility. The acceleration from this massive power plant is enough to bring tears to your eyes. But although this car can eat up the tarmac for fun, it isn't a brute behind the wheel the way some supercars can be. The handling actually feels terrific. It's very, very smooth, as is the ride quality. The whole experience behind the wheel is of a very precise, well-oiled machine. As you'd expect from a car like this, the Z8 comes complete with an impressive array of the very latest gadgets, courtesy of BMW's very own Q. Electronic gizmos that all help to make the driver's job much easier and go some way to justifying the very hefty price tag. Oh no, the Z8 might well be secret agent stuff, but you certainly don't need Secret Service training to be able to handle it. With the price tag of over £80,000, unless Her Majesty's Secret Service is on the case, ownership will probably be left to 007 and a very small select group. So I'm going to make the most of this one while I can.
For our last Real People test of the series, we've decided to large it. And you can't get much larger than this big lorry. Our 2 testers are both lorry drivers, and for a change, we've decided to put them into 2 small cars. Our 2 cars this week may be small, but Volkswagen's new Polo GTI and Proton's compact GTI certainly make up for it in style and performance. We've been waiting years for a hot version of Volkswagen's Polo. Now that it's finally arrived, let's see how it compares to Proton's compact with its Lotus Tune suspension.
My name's Neil and I'm a lorry driver.
My name's Phil. I drive a truck for a living.
First to take to the road is Neil. Let's see what he makes of the Proton.
In the truck, I tend to get a stiff neck and shoulders, but I think with this I could probably quite easily drive it to wherever and back with no problem. The driving position's good and the seats are comfy. The dash layout's all right. when you're turning, if you're flooring it a bit too hard, you're getting a teeny bit of wheel spin when you're turning. Other than that, it's handling brilliantly. I think if I was about 10 years younger, I'd probably buy one.
While his mate is still blasting round in the Proton, let's see what self-confessed VW man Phil thinks of the Polo.
Yeah, the seats are very firm. They're quite good seats. Everything's in the right place, and yeah, leg room. Not bad for leg room in the front. When you get out of the truck, it's like getting into a go-kart, getting back into something the likes of this. Everything, you just feel very low to the ground, and just the nippy of the acceleration. The steering on the cars, it's actually it is a very nice steering. It's not over light, it's not too heavy. I think it's designed boy racerish. I think it's designed for the younger, for the 20, like just past the test, between 18, 25, something like that. I think they're more sporty.
Well, our two drivers should be about midway through their test by now, so they should be changing cars, but, well, in the meantime, I couldn't resist it. It's a big lorry, you've got to have a go, haven't you? Time then for a swap. Neil seemed to be having fun in the Proton, so can the Volkswagen match up to it?
First impressions of this car is I do not like it. Don't like the pedal positions. Cannot get comfy. Doesn't respond straight away. I think the wife would probably like this more than the Proton, literally because of the 5 doors, and it would be easier for her. And at the end of the day, it's always the woman's choice.
Can the Proton, with all of its Eastern promise, tempt Phil away from his Volkswagen?
It's quite a nippy car, quite good on handling. Just not over-impressed with the overall look. It's a sporty looking thing, but I think they've gone a little bit far with the arch kit. It's a little bit tacky on the arch kit, and the clocks and bits of carbon fibre look on the dash. I think it's slightly better on acceleration than the Polo. It's more responsive than the Polo. Very firm, good seat, holds you well. I prefer the build quality on the VW Polo. I suppose the badge does come into it, yeah, also.
Well, I've had a great day driving lorries, and our two guys have had a good day driving the cars, and we now need your verdict. We've got to know which it's going to be. Make your choices. Yourself, what are you having?
Polo was practical, but the Proton's for me.
To heck with practicality. What about you?
Sporty as the Proton is, I think I'm going to make the practical choice and go for the Polo.
The more sensible choice. OK, guys, well, interestingly, both of these are about £14,500. You could get a very nice second-hand tractor unit for that. So what would you go for? Proton, Polo, or a tractor unit? Same price?
I think I'll go for the tractor unit. You can earn a lot of money with a tractor unit.
Good point. Right, you two get back to your units. Well, for once, I'm going to make a choice, and I can't believe I never thought I was ever going to say this, but it's going to be the Proton. Brings out the hooligan in you.
So you've done it. You've saved up your pennies and you've treated yourself to a shiny new sports car. And then you get to drive it in traffic around town, when what you really want to do is to drive it like this.
The aim of our driving days here are to increase the safety and skill levels of drivers, to help them understand how to drive performance cars particularly, but a lot of the training we do enables them to drive any vehicle in a safer manner.
First we do a slalom course to learn about smooth weight transfer. Then a braking exercise. Before learning about oversteer.
Right, now if you look ahead through this gate, we can then accelerate through that last gate. That's nice. Feels nice, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
all
really
sort of flowed together there. Right, how's your stomach?
What did you say? How's my stomach? Now we come to the braking. Under a bit of instruction, of course. I can't believe you just did that soon. And now it's my turn.
Right.
What did I do?
Well, first of all, the speed was too high.
I killed a wall of cones.
Next up, it's the oversteer course. But what do these lessons teach us in everyday driving?
If you imagine when you're doing the hammer at school, you know, and you're throwing it, if all the weight's behind you, if something happens and you lift off, the weight naturally wants to flick round like a pendulum. So that means the back of the car is always going to snatch round. Where if you drive a front-wheel drive car, all the weight's at the front, so naturally the front wants to go first, and you sort of get into those scenarios where you're steering around the corner and the car's naturally going straight. But that generally doesn't happen on rear-wheel drive, rear-engine cars. The rear wants to come round, and especially if you lift off the accelerator or something like that, or you brake in the corner, the weight just wants to flick round past you. Quicker, lift off. Correct. That's it, not bad. That's it, now start to accelerate. That's it, accelerate, quicker, lift off.
This is the one place where getting it wrong is right. Finally, we take all I've learned out onto the track.
Over to the left, now brake down in the third. Aim for the yellow one, now keep it right over to the orange one, now turn it in, and aim for the yellow one again. Let it drift out towards that one, stay out here.
The fantastic thing is that by the end of the day, everything you've learnt earlier on really starts to gel together on the track. What a fantastic day.
There's just one problem with a course like that. It gives you just a taste and it leaves you wanting more, which could become a very expensive hobby.
Coming up after the break, 3 of the best family MPVs tested by the family.
Rolls-Royce, a company that epitomises style and craftsmanship, surely the automotive equivalent of royalty. And the Volkswagen Lupo, small and so youthful it looks like it could develop pimples at any minute. Now, strange as it may seem, this middle-aged aristocrat and prepubescent model are linked by a quirky series of marriages and liaisons. Bear with me. The Lupo was invented because the Polo had grown from Lupo size up to the size of the Mark I Golf. No, Golf. Thank you. The original Golf GTI started a hot hatch craze which killed off the traditional two-seater sports cars made by the likes of MG, which were later revived in the 90s by the MGF. Now, the MGF, in turn, was designed by a talented man with big hair, yes, who also penned Land Rover's Freelander, an off-roader designed to tackle those hazardous school-side curbstones. Now, Land Rover is, of course, owned by BMW, famous for producing prestige saloons to compete with Mercedes, who suffered some unfortunate jokes after their A-Class keeled over in front of a Swedish elk. Now, elks have never been a problem for Volvo, whose cars are built like tanks. Which brings us to Rolls-Royce, who were previously owned by Vickers, who made tanks, but now are owned by Volkswagen, yes, who build the Lupo.
For the final multi-test of the series, we've come on a day out to the countryside to check out 3 mini MPVs. And of course, what else would you expect on a day out but rain and plenty of it? Now, not so very long ago, if you were in the market for a mini MPV, your choice consisted of, well, this one really, Renault's groundbreaking Scenic. This was the car that single-handedly created the mini MPV market.
Of course, good ideas are always going to be imitated, and now there's some serious competition for the Scenic in the, well, striking form of this from Fiat. It's called the Multipla, and it's not for those who blush easily.
A slightly less radical choice to ferry your family in is the Vauxhall Zafira. It's a good, solid motor and is perfect if you don't want to cause too much of a stir. What about the all-important boot space? Well, the Scenics is certainly a good size. Plenty of room for all the family's bits and pieces. The Fiat is the smallest of the three, but you can get some extra room by taking out one of the back seats. And the Zafira's easily the largest, as long as you don't want to make use of the extra seats that are stored under there.
Boots, boots, boots. It's not very interesting, is it, Ginny? This thing does 115 miles an hour.
Richard,
yes.
This isn't a sports car. Figures like that don't matter.
So what does matter?
Well, it's a family car, so I suppose it's how well your family fits into it.
Well, that's it then, isn't it? Test over. We haven't got a family.
Can't be that difficult. All we need is a few kids.
Yay!
Thank you.
OK, you lot, these cars are designed to carry people like you around. Let us know what you think about them, all right? Now, you may think this looks, now how do we say it, unusual. But I bet in 6 months' time, this radical look from Fiat will be the car to be seen in. Shall we go then? Stop it now, Nathan. It was you. It was you. Not too hard. Stop it.
Oh, we've got an actual fight. Fantastic.
Go on.
Once again, the Fiat surprises. Despite looking madder than a box of frogs, it's actually the most sensible feeling drive. It feels quite normal on the road. Though a little noisy at times, team. Thank you very much. And I saw that going on.
Quiet there in the back. And because the Fiat has got these high sides, it means that you get plenty of room. And because there's so much glass in this vehicle, you get an excellent view of everything that's going on around you, including any fights that are happening on the back seats. OK, what do we think of the Fiat then, gang?
Cool!
Cool, yeah?
Groovy!
Groovy!
Who said ugly?
It's ugly. It's well good.
Hey, stop it now, come on. And what do we think of the Fiat? Is it thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs down.
Oh, well, that's looking pretty good, I think. Next up is the Scenic. This car has a mantelpiece full of awards, but 3 years after launch, a wrinkle here and there are beginning to show it's a bit of an old-timer.
Of course, if you've got 4 kids and 2 adults, you've got a big problem straight away with the Scenic. It only seats 5. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
The Scenic proves, you know, that family motoring doesn't have to be too sedate. It has a top speed of just over 120 miles an hour. The 2-litre 16-valve engine feels quite punchy and it will get you to 60 in just under 10 seconds.
Well, if it can go that fast, Ginny, put your foot down.
What's nice?
The outside, but I don't like it inside. It's too grey.
It's very grey.
It's grey and dull. Yeah, it's grey, boring, dull, whatever you want to call it. We're not on camera, are we?
What about all the cubby holes? What do you like? Have you got places to put things?
Yeah, it's well I like the tables that come out, but I don't like the cubby holes because I can't get in them.
No, it's a bit of a dig.
I can't fit in there.
Are you comfortable? What's it like to sit
small. It's small and cramped.
So what do you think of it? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs up. Thumbs down. Thumbs down. Thumbs down then.
Yeah. We would ask Naomi what she thinks of it, but
here.
she couldn't come with us.
Unabortably detained. Ginny, where are we going?
I don't know. Our last in this test is Vauxhall Zafira. With its new hideaway rear seats in the boot, it looks quite promising, if only it wasn't so dark and gloomy.
Out on the road, the Zafira probably feels the most car-like of the three, but it's never going to set the world on fire as a drive. And I kind of miss that lofty, high-up feeling you might get from other MPVs. It all feels a bit, frankly, ordinary.
Oh, is there? Yeah, I'm bored. We've driven down this road 3 times.
What do you think of it then in the back there? What's it like? Is it comfortable?
It's not very comfortable in the middle.
You're getting squashed, aren't you? Matthew? You all right up there at the back?
Yeah, it's nice and comfy.
Is it?
Yeah.
You're being very quiet. All right then, what do we think of the Zafira, everybody?
Maybe.
It's a maybe. No, we're going to swap you round.
I don't want to go back. I will go in the biggest in the middle. I want to sit next to Naomi.
We'll organise it, don't you worry, so that everybody's happy. Before we all go and dry off, it's time to get the expert's opinion on our 3 mini MPVs. Naomi, which did you like best?
The Zafira.
The Zafira. Why?
Because it's nice and comfy.
Good reason, that.
Matthew, what about you? What's your favourite?
Fiat Multipla.
The Fiat Multipla. Why?
Because it's groovy colour and makes the other 2 cars look well boring.
It is different, it is different. Naomi, what's your favourite?
I don't really like any of them, but I like the Zafira best.
Ah, the girls
Okay.
are going for the Zafira in this corner.
Yeah. What about yourself, Nathan?
I like the Fiat Multipla best because it's really high-tech, groovy and doody. The only odd thing about it is the bump on the front.
But you could live with that.
Yeah.
Do you know what? They're so good, aren't they? I reckon we're out for job, Rich.
Just about, but that's just as well because that's the end of the series.
So all that's left is for us to say thank you for watching and goodbye! Let's go and get warm.
Yeah,
Come on.
everybody in.